This is Whupp, and at the Metal Roundup show today, I got a few articles for you. Abbath in a few words of his sobriety, Moonspell's attack on social media, as well as a response from Greta Thunberg from Meatloaf's response last week. Abbath, the former frontman of Immortal, will be beginning his European tour at the end of the month. After a disastrous two-song set at Buenos Aires, he had to cancel his December shows for the sake of entering rehab. Now, 2 months have passed, and Abbath has shared a few words of his sobriety, stating, "It sucks," with a big smile on his face. Abbath has released the album Outsiders in July 2019, and he will be starting his European leg January 23rd in Germany. And I can't wait to catch him when he starts his North America tour, which starts Friday the 13th in Denver, Colorado. Fernando Rubiero, frontman of Moonspell, had fired back at a group of followers on their social media. Earlier, on January 6th, Moonspell had issued a new policy that they were going to unfollow bands that didn't follow them back. Their fans mistook the missive and directed a lot of toxicity towards them, which the networking team decided to reach out to Rubiero, and Rubiero had addressed their fans directly, saying, expressing what is happening with their situation. As far as social media goes, it's very important for bands to be able to establish their presence online, because especially in a situation for me here in Southern California, we don't have a lot of media or metal media in general to consume. As far as the radio goes, the best thing that we have to consume is a classic rock station. So metal as a scene here in Southern California is very underground, and it's kind of like not a lot for us to consume aside from searching for the content on the internet. So Rubiero is explaining why they unfollowed a handful of the bands. It's stating that it's mostly for the fellow bandmates and artists, designers, acquaintance agents, etc. And they were trying to, create a relationship with them. And since these content or these profiles weren't following them back, they started to unfollow these medias in order to boost their preferential score. Preferential score is a very important thing of social media to understand, because it will help you reach a broader audience on the platform. For example, what I've learned with Twitter, the content creators that tend to have a higher presence are people with a lot more followers than they do have following. And crap, I left my headphones on. So Moonspell had addressed their audience, saying that they couldn't give a crap about these pictures of their dogs and pets and sunsets, and that it's their social media is business, and you got to take that in account. It's not a personal profile, which Rubiero has stated this is why he doesn't own a Facebook or an Instagram, because of the toxic nature that tends to follow these platforms. He might have been a bit harsh with his way of addressing it. However, it is metal, and usually you tend to have thicker skin when you're involved in the metal scene. So if anyone took offense to it, they probably weren't particularly fans and just kind of looking for clout, just to poke fun of the reason that they're doing a follow for follow thing, which really wasn't a follow for follow. They just wanted to create relationships with other profiles that would be relevant to their situation, to their business, because that's what it really boils down to in the end. Greta Thunberg had a response to Meatloaf's comment last week. He spoke to the Daily Mail, stating something along the lines of thinking that Greta Thunberg was brainwashed and was forced into believing what she was saying is true about climate change, which Meatloaf does not believe. Greta Thunberg said, "It's not about Meatloaf. It's not about me. And it's not about what some people call me. It's not about left or right. It's about scientific facts. And we're not aware of the situation. Unless we start focusing on this, our target will soon be out of reach." So Thunberg had also added this graph to her post pointing out that the when the Paris Agreement, which is an agreement in that we would try to do our best as far as reducing the climate change over the decade, to reduce it to stay below a 1.5 degrees Celsius increase. The carbon's emission is a linear relationship with global change, and over the past few years, it's kind of gotten out of hand. Me being from Southern California, we're constantly dealing with disasters such as wild bushfires, something that Australia is all too familiar with as well, who's going through a tragedy at the moment. I can only imagine those are huge setbacks to trying to keep the emissions down. I would imagine technology nowadays has gotten a lot better, and the emissions from vehicles are significantly less than what they used to be 10 years ago. So despite our best efforts in increasing technology and reducing emissions, these wildfires and other natural disasters like volcanoes could also set us back as far as the emissions go. So with that being said, I wanted to bring up the issue with the Australian wildfires, which is very tragic, and as well as the Amazons being burnt as well. Like, I can only imagine that these are gonna have devastating effects on us for years to come. However, there have been several bands that have reached out and tried to help the cause, like Metallica, Parkway Drive, and Ice Nine Kills have all been talking about it and trying to help the cause, which I wanted to thank them for trying to help out the situation, because it's rather dire right now going on with the Australian wildfires. Here in the Rapid Fire, we got a couple articles here for you. Powerwolf has re-signed with Napalm Records. Really cool to see that they're continuing to receive their support that they would need with Napalm Records. They were pleased to continue with their agreement. I'm hoping for maybe some new recordings, maybe some tours that we can enjoy from Powerwolf coming up. As well, some news that almost slid under my radar. Children of Bodom had split ways. Alexi Laiho has left the band. I found out here that he had sold his shares to the business that rightfully owns the brand name Children of Bodom, and leaving the rest of the members with the rights to the band. They said in a long-winded Facebook post that they didn't want to have any disrespect with the brand's name, and so they're probably going to let the name rest. Alexi Laiho also admitted that he fought a lot with the band, and he can honestly admit that the fights were mainly his fault. They always started with some misunderstanding, so it's unfortunate to see that being the end of Children of Bodom, and we wish the members nothing but the best. I can imagine Alexi Laiho, being the primary songwriter, would has been actually recruiting some more members, so he might be able to continue playing some of the Bodom songs under a different name. But as far as the Children of Bodom name stands, the rest of the band owns that. Here's what's up. The Amity Affliction has released a new music video, Soak Me in Bleach. A metalcore band from Brisbane, Australia. They have shows going on around Australia, so keep an eye out for them around there, as well as in February and March they'll be touring around in Europe. They have a new album coming up February 21st. Everyone Loves You Once You Leave Them. As well, Wraith, a post-punk death rock band from Los Angeles, has released a new album November 29th, and a new video to go along with it in December, Wings of the Night. Check them out on YouTube. Evanescence has also published a new music video, the song The Chains, which is featured on the Gears of War 5 game. As well, Ozzy Osbourne / and Elton John had a collaboration on a new song for their self-titled album, Ordinary Man. Red Hot Chili Peppers drummer Chad Smith said, "These two legendary English rockers have been through it all and are singing about the ends of their lives. I don't want to die an ordinary man, and it's freaking great. The album's due to come out February 21st, and today they had just released their official music video. So go check that out in the links below. That concludes the Metal Roundup. I'd like to thank you for your time and remind you that this is a weekly show, so consider subbing and ringing that bell so you'll be notified when the next video is active. Also, the S1ckboy Lounge will be live this weekend on Mixer and Twitch Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I also have my stream schedule up. I'll be streaming Monday through Wednesday at 4:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I want to encourage any feedback and criticism, so feel free to use the comment section below to let me know how I'm doing.